These 3 mistakes will make it impossible to scale on Meta in 2025. I know, because I have seen my students and my clients make these mistakes over and over. But by the end of the video, you will never make them again. Hey, I'm Tiana. I'm a creative strategist. I have roots in traditional copywriting. That's how I help DTC brands find more winning ads on Meta more often with copy-first creatives that convert. Today, I'm going to reveal the top 3 biggest mistakes that I see that you're probably making in your ad creatives that are killing your conversions, making targeting impossible, and keeping you stuck in the cycle of trying to find a new winner. Number 1, muddy messages. I want you to think of this like a spectrum. Clear is over here, way on the other side is clever. If you are trying to be too clever in your ads, you will end up with a muddy message. For example, I often see people try to create more curiosity in their ads, but they end up just being too vague. Or they prioritize personality of the brand and they forget to mention the pain points and the benefits very clearly. Or super common to just overcomplicate the message and go a little bit too deep into the weeds. That one is especially true when it's copywriters who are trying to write ads that are impressive to other copywriters. Here's the problem with those approaches. If your audience doesn't know that the ad is for them immediately, or if they don't understand what your actual offer is, they simply won't take action. There are no points for creativity when it comes to ads, only for conversions. That's why one of my 11 pillars of persuasion is clarity over cleverness. Do not be afraid to just hit the nail on the head and say outright what your product or service will do for your prospect. You can keep it very, very dead simple, like in these winning ads. When your message is crystal clear like this, your audience will know it is for them without a doubt in seconds, and they will know exactly how your product will improve their life. And this is not just about your prospect, it is about Meta also, because Meta uses the language and the visuals inside of your creative to determine who to put your ad in front of in the first place. So clear messaging is your targeting strategy in 2025. So if your message is muddy, then your prospect isn't even going to see your ad in the first place, never mind understand it and connect with it. So here's a little test. If you put this ad that you just wrote in front of your ideal customer for 3 seconds, that's it. Could they turn to the friend beside them and tell them exactly what your ad is about? If the answer is no, your message is muddy. And this all comes back to just getting clear on your core message, because when you have that on lockdown, and it becomes really easy to be clear. The reason that a message gets muddy is because you're not clear on your message, and that's when you slip on over into the clever side of the spectrum, because you're trying to make up for lack of clarity with cleverness and razzle-dazzle approach. I have a super simple 3-step process that I go through to identify the core message before I write an ad, and it takes like 15 minutes tops. So if you want a video on how to do that and a breakdown of those steps, just let me know in the comments. I'll make a whole separate video about that and we can dive into it. Mistake number 2, multiple messages. Every winning ad has one very clear message, but I often see people try to shove multiple messages into one concept, and that's why the ads flop. It's kind of like this. If your message is very potent, it's going to be like a bright, waving flag for your ideal prospect. But the more ideas, thoughts, and angles that you add into the mix, the more diluted your core message becomes, and your ad will just fade off into the meta abyss with all of the other ads that your prospect probably scrolled past today. So this mistake usually manifests as too much copy or lack of hierarchy in a static creative, or it's a video hook that feels just kind of meandering or fluffy. Now, this does not mean that you can only list one benefit or one pain point in your ad. That's just not true. You can have primary benefits. You can have secondary benefits. You can even have tertiary benefits, but you just need to frame it around one core message, like this example, or like this, or like this one right here. Finally, mistake number 3, mugged messages. This is where you stalk a similar brand and you mug them point blank by completely copying and pasting their ads simply because it worked for them. Now, you might get lucky and you might stumble into a couple of winners this way, but there is a major flaw with that plan. 1, your audience is a little bit different than theirs. Every unique group of people has a different language. The pain points might be the same, but the way that they talk about them can be drastically different between the people who follow your brand than the people who follow somebody else's brand. So you're doing yourself a huge disservice by not experimenting and tapping into your unique audience's language. Super easy way to do that. I use a copy tool that I like to call Real Language Paste. This is where I go into the comment sections or groups, emails, customer service feedback, or Reddit communities, and I copy and paste, but exact language from there, right from my customer's mouth, not from my competitors. 2, if you just keep copying and pasting ads, then you don't know why your ad is working. You're just copying and pasting, right? So you're not going to be able to replicate it. So you're basically a one-trick pony. That is how you get trapped in the cycle of always being in the space of like trying to find your next winner, right? However, if you train your eye and you know how to decipher the core message behind a winning ad, then you can take that one core message, you can apply it to multiple ad styles, and you'll actually end up with 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 winners. And that is why I'm so hell-bent on teaching brand owners and copywriters, media buyers, creators, ad editors, how to write these messaging first ads that actually convert, because that's how you pump out winners on a weekly basis. You find these core messages. I created a whole course around it. It's called Copy First Creatives. And in it, I break down exactly how I have written hundreds of messaging first ads in this way that consistently scale past 1 million in spend. It is the secret to how I have generated my clients over 50 million in revenue and counting. It all comes down to a few core copywriting principles and to my copy first approach to creative strategy. There's a link below if you want to chat more about that. I would look forward to jumping on a call with you. And in the meantime, please hit subscribe and hit the like button, and I will keep dropping free training, tips, tricks, videos just like this right here for you. I will chat with you soon.